Good evening. Good evening. Now, should we give this caselet a try? Shubham, it is defined already that slack in a pipeline is in the node. Shakti, I have given around 10 minutes to solve this caselet. I am not speaking anything right now. You have to try this caselet, then we will start with the discussion. No issues, Sarah. We just started. Shivani, are you facing an issue? Okay. Come on, guys, be quick with your answers. No, Neeraj. Guys, in 5 minutes I will start. Right, Soumya. Right. Good, good. No, Shivani. No, Shivani. No, Rachit. Right, Soumya. No, Rachit. Okay, guys, I think let's start because I'm not getting correct responses today. Shall we start? Guys, you need more time or shall we start? Okay, let's start. Let's start. Have a look here. Here, the term slack is normally uh, causes confusion. So I'm just going to write the data which is given to us. So the capacity at B is 600, capacity at D is 800, capacity at C is 500, at E it is 900, at F it is 400. So he says that we will be sending that much of supply from A, which is just meeting the requirements of B, C, D, E, and F, which means I have to add all these values. So guys, tell me what is the sum of these five values? Be quick. Good, good, good. Saurabh, check it out. Good job, good job. So the sum comes out to be 3250. So the supply which we are going to send from A is exactly 3250. It is given to me that the maximum capacity of each pipeline is 2000. So the maximum capacity of either you say this or this or this or this or this or this, all these pipelines is 2000 units. Is this part clear, everyone? Good, 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 good. So if I talk about that out of 3250, what quantity will go from A to B or what quantity will go from A to C, no such information is there in the entire storyline. And because of the same, if you go through the questions here, right, like in question number 1, he says, what is the maximum possible slack? In question number 2, the slack is given to you. In question number 3, he talks about minimum slack. In question number 4, he talks about again minimum slack. In question number 5, again there is some information, right? So if I ask you what is the flow from C to E, the answer is cannot be determined. But if I ask you what is the maximum flow from C to E or what is the minimum flow from C to E, so that is something which we can calculate. So slack in a pipeline is defined as the extra flow that is required in the pipeline to bring it to its full capacity. In the sense, let's say I am choosing an example, guys. From C to E, if the flow is 1000, if the flow is 1000, so in this case, can I say slack is also going to be 1000? Because the capacity of the pipeline is 2000, so 2000 minus 1000 is going to be 1000. If the flow at any point in time is 800, so can I say the slack is 1200? If the flow is, let's say, 1200, so the slack is 800. Is this part clear, guys? What slack is, how to calculate slack and the relation between flow and slack? So he says it is the extra flow that is required to bring it to its full capacity. If the flow is 1000, so to bring it to 2000, how much extra flow you are required? It is the difference of these two, which is 1000. If the flow is 800, how much more flow is required to bring it to 2000? It is the difference of the two, which is 1200. If the flow is, let's say, 500, how much extra flow is required to make this 500 2000? It will be difference of 2000 and 500, which is 1500. Is it clear now, everyone? Good, good, good. Any doubt in this? Tell me. Okay, now. So can I say if your flow decreases, your slack increases, or if your flow will increase, then your slack will decrease? Is this clear, everyone? Flow increases, slack decreases, and if flow decreases, slack increases. Is this part clear? Good, good, good. So the caselet is based on this part only. So now have a look on question number 1. What is the maximum possible slack in the pipeline connecting C and D? If you wish to maximize the slack in this pipeline, so the slack is maximum means the flow is minimum. Is this part clear, everyone? If the slack from C to E is maximum, then the flow must be minimum. Is it done? If the flow from C to E is minimum, it means the flow in this pipeline from A to C is minimum. And if the flow from A to C is minimum, then flow from A to B will be maximum. So because flow from A to B maximum can be 2000 only. So can I say if you are sending 2000 from A to B, then remaining, which is the difference of these two, shall be sent along this pipeline only, which is 1250 along A to C. This is the minimum flow. So if it is 1250 along this line, you will drop 500 at C. So then from C to E, the flow is going to be difference of 1250 and 500, which comes out to be 750. If the flow is 750, then the slack is of 1250. Is that clear? Any doubt in this? Tell me. Am I audible to all the students? Please be quick in responding. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's move on to question number two. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, now, so in question number two, he says if the pipeline connecting C and D has a slack of 800 units. So if this pipeline is having slack of 800 units, so can I say the flow along this line is 1200 units? Is this part clear, everyone? If the slack is 800, flow must be 1200. So he says, what is the supply of waste from A to B? So if the flow in this pipeline is 1200, I know that when you send supply from A to C, after dropping 500, the flow here is 1200. So from A to C, it must be 1700 flow. Guys, is this part clear? If from C to E the flow is 1200, then from A to C it must be 1700, such that after dropping 500, you are getting a flow of 1200 here. Good. So if the flow from A to C is 1700, then the remaining flow must be along the pipeline A to B. So difference of these two comes out to be 1450. Not 14, this 1550. Right, right. So answer is none of these. Is it clear, everyone? Good, good. Any doubt in this? Tell me. Neeraj, what is your doubt? Neeraj, what is your doubt? Neeraj, slack is the empty space, not waste. Okay. Okay, guys, let's move on to next question. So question number three says, what is the minimum slack in the pipeline connecting D and D? So again, if we want to minimize the slack along this pipeline, so can I say the flow along this pipeline must be maximum? Is it clear, everyone? The flow along this pipeline should be maximum. If the flow from D to E is maximum, then flow from A to B should be maximum. Is it done? So the maximum flow along the pipeline A to B can be 2000 only. So out of 2000, you will drop 600 at B, then 800 at D. So 1400 goes out. So the flow from D to E can be a maximum of 600. So the minimum slack is going to be of this 1400. Is it done? Any doubt in this? Tell me. Saurabh, we have to minimize the slack in this line. So if slack is minimum, flow must be maximum. If flow along this line is maximum, that is possible if and only if the flow from A to B is maximum. Because supply is to be sent from A only. The more you will be sending it, the more you will be getting it here. So the maximum supply from A to B can be 2000 only. Out of it, 600 and 800 got dropped at B and D, which adds up to 1400. So out of 2000, 1400 goes out, left over is 600. If flow along this line is 600, slack is of 1400. Is it done, Saurabh? Good, good, good. Okay, now in question number 4, it says, if the capacity at F alone is increased such that the total slack in all the pipeline is minimum. So what is the sum of the slacks in all the pipelines combined? So earlier we were able to send a total of 3250 only from A, right? The reason was that was the requirement at all these stations. Now he says you can send as many such that the capacity at F is increased. So can I say now I will be sending 2000 along this line and 2000 along this line also? Is this part clear, guys? Now I can send 2000 and 2000, a maximum of 4000 along both the lines. Earlier it was 3250 only. Good, 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 good. Now out of 2000, this 2000, you will drop 600 at B. So flow along this line is 1400. So slack will be of 600. So I am going to put a circle with the slack. Out of this 1400, you will drop 800 at D. So the flow from D to E will be 600. So the slack in this pipeline is of 1400. So now this 600 will reach E, right? Please keep this thing in mind. Likewise, out of 2000, you will drop 500 at C. So the flow along C to E is of 1500. So the slack is of 500 along this pipeline. So this 500 and this 600 adds up to 2100. Out of this 2100, we will drop 900 at E. Is it done? So the flow from E to F will be 1200. So the slack comes out to be of 800. So the total slack in all the pipelines is 800 plus 1400 plus 500 plus 600. Is it done, guys? So it comes out to be 3300. Right, Neeraj, right. Any doubt, guys, in this case? Tell me. Okay, then let's move ahead. In question number 5, he says, due to a snag that developed in the pipeline from A to B, the maximum capacity of that pipeline fell by 20%. So from A to B, the maximum capacity given to me was 20%. Sorry, this 2000. Now it fell by 20%. So can I say that this A to B is going to be the maximum flow from A to B is going to be 1600, right? So as we already know that a maximum of 3250 is to be sent from A. But again, I am not given the breakup of this 3250, that how much will be going along A to B and how much will be going along A to C. In the question he is asking, what is the slack in the pipeline connecting C and D? As we have already discussed in all the questions, that if there is no information related to how much is flowing from A to B or A to C, I cannot figure out the value. So answer comes out to be CBD. Yes, because there is no maximum minimum condition here. So the breakup of 30 to 50 can be any. Guys, is it clear? Any doubt in this case? Let tell me. Shivani, in third, he is asking, what is the minimum slack in the pipeline connecting D and D? We have to minimize. We have to minimize the slack here. I said if slack is minimum, then flow must be maximum. Is it clear, Shivani? If slack is minimum, then flow is maximum. If flow along this pipeline is maximum, that is possible if and only if the flow is maximum from A to B. So maximum flow from A to B is going to be 2000, out of which you will drop 600 here and 800 here, which adds up to 1400. So the flow along D to E is 600. If flow is 600, so slack is of 1400. Is it done, Shivani? Okay. Shubhi, earlier given to me was that from A to B I can send maximum of 2000. Now he says that 20% capacity has been reduced. So the capacity of pipeline connecting A and B is now 1600 only. Is it clear, Shubhi? Shubhi, is it clear? Yes, Shubhi, that is already there. There is no change in the capacity from A to C. Requirements of all the stations are the same, which is a total of 3250. As already discussed, we do not know that how much will be sent from A to B. This is the capacity. It doesn't mean that this is the flow. This 1600 is now the maximum capacity of this line. So don't get confused it with flow. Right. So the flow along this pipeline, if it is 1500, along this pipeline will be 1750. If it is like 1600, along this pipeline will be remaining 1650. For different set of values, you will be getting different set of answers. Saurabh, in question number 1, he says we have to maximize the slack in this pipeline. If slack is maximum, flow should be minimum. If flow from C to E is minimum, then flow from A to C should be minimum. If flow along this pipeline is minimum, then flow along that pipeline should be maximum. So maximum flow along this pipeline is 2000. So remaining difference of these two, which is 1250, has to be sent from A to C, so that requirements of all these are met. Out of this 1250 now, 500 is dropped at C. So flow from C to E is going to be 750. So the slack is 1250. Is it done? Okay guys, let's move on to next caselet now. Go through the video once again. If you still have any doubts, we will discuss. Okay now guys, be quick, give it a try. This is a graph format. You have to interpret it. wait. Give me a minute. Shubhi, your answer for first is correct. Aditya is correct for first. Word one. Sorry, Shubhi and Aditya, sixth is wrong. Tahir, sixth is correct. Seventh is correct. Aditya, seventh is correct. Harshita, sixth is correct. Soumya is correct. Krishan is correct for all. Harshini is correct for 10th. Aditya, 8th is correct. Shivani, 6th is wrong. Shivani Tomar, 6th is wrong. Parvesh is correct. Tahir, 8th is wrong. Aditya, 9th is correct. Soumya, 6th is correct. Harshita, 6, 7 are correct. Rishabh, 6th is correct. 7th is wrong. 8th is correct. 9th is correct. Aditya, 10th is correct. Tahir, 9th is correct. Shakti, 6th is correct. Shivani, 7th is not option 2. Tahir, 10th is correct. Harshini, 7th is correct. Check 8th. Shubhi, 9th is wrong. Rest are correct. Good job. Rishabh, 10th is correct. Shakti, 7th is correct. Aditya, 6th is correct. Saurabh, all are correct. Good job. Right, Harshita, right. Good, Aditya, good. Yes, all are correct. Okay, guys, then I think let's discuss because majority of the students are done. So here given to us is that there are a total of 5 lakh voters which are divided in 4 wards. So you just need to find the percentage values like 18% of 5 lakh is 90,000, 32% of 5 lakh is 1 lakh 60,000, then 36% is 1 lakh 80,000, and this 14% is 70,000. Then we just need to frame a small table so as to find the breakup in all the 4 wards for BJP, UP, and Congress. So here the only challenge is to read this triangular matrix which majority of the students did correct. So which is a good job. So instead of 2x's, now there are 3x's. So this is x1, this is x2, this is x3. So you have to pick all the values parallel to these lines only. So like for Ward 1, BJP got 25% votes. From Ward 1, AAP got 50% votes and Congress got remaining 25% votes. Is it clear everyone? How to read this table? Swami, you have to read the values along these lines only. So this one is coming here, this one is going there, and it is going there. So this is the breakup of the votes of Ward 1 for all the three parties. Okay, good. So we just have to follow this process for finding our values. Like Ward 1, BJP got just 25%. So its one fourth is going to be 22,500. This I've got 50% of the votes, which is equivalent to 45,000. Congress got again 25%, which is 22,500. From Ward 2, BJP got 25% votes, so its one fourth is 40,000. I've got 25% votes, which is again 40,000. And Congress got 50% of the votes, which is 80,000. Ward 3, BJP got 50% of the votes, so 50% is 90,000. This Congress got 25, AAP got 25, which is 45,000 votes. From Ward 4, AAP got 25%, so 25% of 70,000. Be quick, guys, tell me what is the value? One fourth of 70,000, guys, be quick. Good job, 17,500. Now, this BJP got the middle value here. So, this Congress got the middle value here. So, this is 12.5% and this is 62.5%. So, 12.5% is 1 by 8, 62.5% is 5 by 8. So, tell me, guys, what is 1 by 8 of 70,000? Be quick, 1 by 8 of 70,000. It is 8750. Good job. So now multiply this value with 5 to get 5 by 8. So 8750 into 5 is how much? Good, Harshita. Come on, guys, be quick. Good, good, good. It is 43,750. So once we have framed this table, job done. All the questions are answered now. So the number of votes polled for up in Ward 1, it is 45,000. In which ward did Congress secure the maximum number of votes? So maximum number of votes for Congress are in Ward 2. How many votes did BJP secure in wards 3 and 4 together? So 3 and 4, 90,000 plus 43,750 is 133,750. By what majority did Congress win over AAP in Ward 2? In Ward 2, Congress got 80,000, AAP got 40,000. So Congress won by 40,000 votes. So in 10th says which party secured a majority in Ward 4? So majority in Ward 4 is of BJP as BJP got most of the votes. So this is the answer. I hope this caselet is clear to each and every student. Good, 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 good. Okay, then I think let's keep it this much because next session is of Arun sir, which will start at 9:15. So we don't have much time. So let's take a break today. So in next class we'll be continuing then. Okay then, guys.